Happy Saturday. This is Raven Dana, and thanks for tuning in to Walking Between the Worlds. This is March 26th, I believe, Saturday. And this is going to be a free class about warding and what it is, how to do it, why to do it, what good is it. And it's going to give you some really good information about how to keep unwanted energies, unwanted negativity from other people and from random sources out of your space, off your body, out of your dream space. Sometimes you may notice that for no apparent reason you feel off, or you feel irritable, or you have malaise, or you have a series of strange and disturbing dreams. Now, sometimes, sure, it could be maybe you're just tired, or maybe it's something you shouldn't have eaten. But a lot of times it's because we have picked up, absorbed, or attached to an energy that is negative, right? And negative meaning it is not enhancing our life in some way. In fact, it's inhibiting us from feeling happy or being fully healthy in some way. And it happens all the time. I mean, you know how you feel if you're around people who are arguing, right? I mean, it's not just that you hear it and it affects you emotionally. It's that you actually carry some of that energy with you. It becomes attached to you. And sometimes later in the day or the next day, it's still with you in the background somewhere. So there are plenty of ways to pick up, to walk into unwanted energetic circumstances. And sometimes it's obvious like that if you're around people who are not getting along. But it can also be as simple as somebody who wishes you ill, and you can feel the effects of their intention and their intensity. It can be that you are tired, or that you have been sick and so you're vulnerable, and you go into a space like a hospital or a place where there has been some kind of devastation, somebody who's had a very hard time of it, and there's residue, and it attaches to you. You kind of pick it up like gum on your shoe. And it could even be that somewhere in your neighborhood, somebody died, a not very pleasant death, and maybe they're not sure they're dead, and they're lingering around, and they're meandering down the block, and you're being vulnerable, and they get attracted into your space, into your home. So there are plenty of different ways that we can pick up energies and things that we don't want, that we don't need, that don't enhance our lives. And so you can consider warding, very simply put, a type of hygiene. We'll call it psychic hygiene, energetic hygiene. It's a way to not only clear, but also to keep out. Warding is designed to keep out, to protect you from those energies that might be disruptive or disturbing. It can even be, family members who are in a battle and would like to suck you in. You can feel that energy resonate in your system. And what's interesting about it is very often you don't even know that it's happening. I mean, the event, you may not be consciously aware of whatever is going on, but you feel that there's something off because you're being impacted by the energy. And so I also just want to say that if you've ever been in a disagreement with somebody, that's a serious, long-standing disagreement, that it is likely that if you're attached to their opinion, or if you're connected to them in some way, then anytime they talk about you, anytime they energetically fire off a missile in your direction, and you're not in your perfect space, it can land, right? You can have some creepy dreams, or you can be agitated in the middle of the night. In any case, warding is a very straightforward way to create boundaries and barriers energetically that help to protect you from unwanted negativity, from anything or anyone, from entities living or dead, from energies residual left behind that may impact you in a way that is not in your best interest. Now, the power of warding. It works not because of the words you say or because of the objects you use. It works because emotion, intention, and repetition are the drivers of the energy that actually create we'll call it a resonance, we'll call it a vibration, that if you know anything about how we get sick, our cells actually have a resonance. They have an energy that prevents certain things from breaching their surface. So what we're doing is we're creating in a similar way, we're creating an energy that will prevent negative energies or disruptive energies from breaching our bodies, our homes, our dream space. And there are lots of different ways to do that. I will present you with a few today. And so if you would like to take notes, you can feel free to do that. And one thing you want to know is that when you use wards and create wards, that don't just create them once and leave them there. Like, you don't clean the kitchen floor once and it's clean for the rest of your life. You don't do the dishes once and then they're always done. So you have to go back to those wards and recharge them. In other words, you have to continue to reestablish and reset the wards that you place. Sometimes you might want to do that weekly. Other wards that you set up might be strong enough with your intent and repetition that you can check them monthly. But however you do it, you just want to know that creating and protecting protection wards requires a certain amount of maintenance. And it's not a big deal, and it doesn't take a long time. It does, however, help you to become more sensitive to the energy in your environment and to noticing when something's off with you. So again, the energy of a ward, the way that you infuse the ward with your intention, create a repository for that energetic barrier, has to be reset from time to time. And some things you can just speak out loud, right? You can, for example, for traveling in your dreams, or for energetic barriers to negative things encroaching on your dreams. My friend and mentor, Robert Moss, teaches this saying in his class, and I use it often, and it works very, very well. And it works because it has been said by a lot of people through a lot of years with powerful intention. And so it's not just my repetition and emotion, it's the accumulation of repetition and emotion that have come from many people over a period of time that help to set and hold the boundaries. So with that said, it's as simple as this. May my gates and paths be open, and my gates and paths between the worlds, and may they be closed to any who would harm me or those I love. May my gates and paths be open, and my gates and paths between the worlds, and may they be closed to any who would harm me or those I love. May my gates and paths be open, and my gates and paths between the worlds, and may they be closed to any who would harm me or those I love. So if you say that several times, letting yourself really feel the energy of that, maybe even hearing those doors and gates close, or seeing a guardian sitting on the path that won't let anything pass into your house, into your dream space, into your mind, then the more vivid your imagination, the more energetically charged that barrier is. So that's something that I like to use if I'm feeling a little off, especially when I'm falling asleep, or if I've had some unpleasantness happening in my dreams, or I feel that somebody in a dream is trying to manipulate me. Okay, so you can use it at any time. It works particularly well when you're dreaming, meditating, journeying, that sort of thing. I recommend that you actually set up some wards around your home. So lots of people like to hang things in the windows. And you can use something that's very familiar to you, or you can use something that you especially buy or make for the purpose of warding. But hanging something in the window, again, same intention, that the only thing that may enter is that which is good for my mental, physical, and emotional health. right? You can set an intention like that, or anything negative must stay out, 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 however you do it. And you don't have to speak the words. Essentially, you take the object, the item that you're going to hang in the window, and you hold it. And you feel energetically that object absorbing the energy of a barrier, of a closed door, or of a filter that allows only the good to come through, that keeps out anything that's chaotic or negative or harmful in any way. And then you hang it in your window. I have things hanging in all my windows, and I like things hanging in my windows, so why not charge them, right? Doors and windows particularly, you want to ward them, especially if you have people coming in and out of your house. Even people coming in to do some kind of maintenance work. You don't know what's going on with them, or what mood they're in, or what fight they just walked out of. It's good to clear their energy out with them when they go. And it's also good to set it up so that anything that they carry with them, they cannot leave behind, or that it doesn't attach to you. So warding the doors and windows is another great thing that you can do for yourself if you feel so inclined. And you've seen some of these wards and not even known it. People who hang horseshoes over their door. That's a form of warding. That's a form of inviting in the good and keeping out the negative. You don't have to go find horseshoes. Some people also use railroad ties. Again, big, cumbersome, not easy to explain, crossed railroad ties over your doorways. But you can also use little square-headed iron nails, right? I know it sounds strange, but iron, like wrought iron, has been used for warding for a very, very, very long time. So it's just a thing. You don't have to buy in, you don't have to understand it, you don't have to believe it, doesn't matter. Because it's been used for such a long time, it lends itself to that kind of protection. So it's cheap and easy to get some square-headed wrought iron nails on Amazon. And the same thing, you can hold it in your hand, you charge it with your intention. You can even wrap it with some red string, okay? You can do what feels right to you to create that ward as a barrier. And then it's very simple. You pop it up over the door frame, nobody sees it, you know it's there, or up over the window ledge if you don't like hanging things in your windows. And periodically you take it down and you reset it or recharge it. There are many different things you can do. If you have outdoor statues, you can sit with that statue and you can create, again, an energetic connection, like a thought form. Whatever it's a statue of, you can see it in your mind's eye coming to life and protecting you should anything come through that area. I have on my front porch a really nice little stone gargoyle that I spend a fair amount of time outside on my porch with, and you know, it's my little companion out there. And there's also a crow statue out there. So of course I have spent some time putting energy into those to use as wards, to invite them to be my protectors. And do I think that they're actually going to come to life and protect me? Well, no, but I do believe that the essence of them, the spirit of them, the energy that I have spent time imbuing in them, that it absolutely will be felt by anyone that has negative intent coming up on that porch. Yes, so I do believe that in that regard, they will do precisely what I have requested of them, because after all, it's their home too, right? So they don't want somebody to take them, hurt them, knock them over, enter the house. And yes, you may be thinking, but they're statues, they're not going to. So don't even go there. I'm sure that you have had, name it, plants, stuffed animals, tchotchkes that you have been absolutely related to, that you feel have a certain kind of life force. So for our purposes, let's just assume that everything has a spirit. It's easier that way. We don't have to prove anything. But if we start from the premise that everything in its own way is alive, and what we do is communicate with the world around us through the essence of consciousness, then it makes this process even one step easier. Okay? So, statuary is another way to play with the ability to create and maintain and manage wards. There's another thing that we can do. Staffs and sticks. Staffs and sticks are great things. Magic wands is essentially in a kind of a large format. So some people like to take those and, again, charge them with your thoughts and imagination and plant them, push them into the ground at the 4 strategic points of the compass around the home. Another thing that you can do inside the house is you can stand them up in corners that are meaningful to you, right? Where you're looking to keep a space clear. Now, I have a really cool walking stick, looks like this. And this is something that, again, you can, if it's something you like and you spend a lot of time with and it's in your hands a lot, you can also take it if you feel something off and you can tap it on the ground. And you can imagine from that tapping on the ground, that energy expanding out in all directions, not just as a circle on the floor, but a sphere all the way around you. So that tap is also a way of creating an energetic boundary. And this is something that you can even do in your car. Not that you're going to, have your walking stick tapped on your car, but you can imagine that process. You can imagine in your car, if drivers are a little on the wiggy side that day, you can actually just find the word that works for you and say it out loud 3 times with that same kind of feel to it, that creating this bubble that is now a barrier to negativity. That now if somebody thinks about swerving into the lane, something is going to hold them off that extra second or 2 until you're out of the way. And I'm going to tell you, I've seen things like that happen when I have warded in my car. You can simply say whatever word works for you. I say shield. So if I'm in my car and I'm either tired or the traffic is strange that day, or maybe I just feel a little, there's something not right, I'll be driving along and I'll just say shield. I just say it once. And as I say it, I imagine this energetic bubble. For me, it's kind of blue and silver most of the time, but I just see this bubble exuding in all directions and surrounding me and the car. And I really like to do that when I'm feeling a little off. And in any case, I invite you to do the same, or your version of that, whatever that may be for you. So another thing that you can use are rocks, right? You know that there's lots of cool things that you can do with rocks. You can write a word on them. You can paint them a certain color. The more time you spend putting energy into the object that you intend to have ward your home or your space or your office, the more time you spend, the stronger the ward. So if you're going to use something like a rock and you design it or paint it, that's even better. If you're going to create a little drawing or a sigil, like a geometric design, to hang on your wall or place under your bed or stick on a window, that's even better, because the effort and energy that you use creating the object gives it extra layers of energy, gives it more charge in the battery. All right, we'll say it that way. More charge in the battery. So it's going to last a longer time in serving its purpose before it starts to diminish and needs to be recharged. And one final other thing, there are plenty of ways to ward. We're nowhere near running out, but I'm just going to give you one more for today, which is using your connection with the plants in your home. Right? Plants have personalities. Plants are living entities. And again, they are to have plants in the home, to help us literally clear the air, to provide us with more oxygen. We take care of them and they take care of us. I don't know about you, but when I've gone for a while and I come back to my home, I miss my plants. I look at them, sometimes I say hi to them. I have a couple of very large, magnificent plants. And one of the things that you can do with plants is ask them, again, sit with intention and deliberation with those plants that are in your windows, and ask to have them ward the windows. Don't let anything pass that's negative here. So again, your plants, the charge is going to last a lot longer because you're in relationship with them on a regular basis, watering them, taking off dead leaves, doing whatever you do to their soil. So your attentiveness to them is more constant than it might be to an object hanging in the window or a rock by the front door. So that's one more thing you can do. Again, warding is a way of, it's hygiene, it's energetic hygiene. And the more you practice this kind of energetic hygiene, the more aware you become of what energies are yours and what energies you have picked up from other things, like literally like gum on your shoe, except that it might be more like bad dreams in the night. But the practice is very, very useful in your ordinary life. You develop a level of sensitivity that actually helps you to know what's going on with people around you and in the world at large, because you become more aware of that energetic boundary and barrier, and if it's being pushed, or how or when it's being pushed. So you can ward yourself even in the moment by going inside your own mind and imagining vividly, for example, using a staff to tap on the ground, or having your your owl on your deck, swoop in and push the person away, whatever works for you. So allow yourself to play with this idea, and allow yourself a little bit of time and space if you would like to research it. I have a book that I would recommend if you want more information on it. This is the little book right here. It has a lot of information about different kinds of warding, how to do it, why to do it. It's a little more complex than what I've spoken about today, but if you're interested in this subject, then this is something that you might pick up. It's not expensive, it's easy to find, and it will give you good information. Well, thank you so much for being with me today. I hope you got something good out of our little lesson on warding. And I will be back soon, and there will be another video coming up very soon, possibly tomorrow, where we'll go back and talk more about coincidence, synchronicity, and strange events. So thanks for tuning into my little class on warding today, and I hope you have a marvelous Saturday afternoon. Again, this is Raven Dana, and if you have any questions, ravendana55@gmail.com. You can find me pretty easily. Bye now.